Good morning. It is Sunday, which means it's time for my weekly prep. If you're new here, basically what I do is chop all these veggies and make a few other things like soups while I explain what I'm using all the ingredients for. You can also find my entire menu on Instagram, as well as pictures of everything I eat. So all the meals I make with this, you can find them there. So let's get started. I'll start with some cauliflower first, because I need to steam some of it, because I'm making low-carb wraps. I already have a pot of water. So I'll do about half of this head of cauliflower, and the other half I will use later in the week for some mashed cauliflower. Yeah, this should probably do. And I'll just steam those until they're completely cooked through, probably about 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Okay, that's the first thing done. I'll just clean up a little bit as we go. Now another thing I'm gonna do is make some stocks. I'm gonna make a stock for my pork belly. It's also gonna not just cook the pork belly, but also serve as a stock for my ramen, because I'm gonna have ramen with pork belly. And I also use the stock for some risotto. So I'm not a big fan of mushrooms, but they do give a nice flavor for stocks and such. I just don't like the texture. But for this purpose, they're fine. I just have a few different kinds. And as they're going into a stock, the size doesn't really matter. I'll actually save some of these for some garnish later. Let's just one more. This is for some salads, and I might put some on my sandwich later for lunch. I'm having a salad twice this week. First on Monday, it's going to be meatless. I'll probably add some nuts to them because I'll have tomato soup in the evening, so I won't have a lot of protein. So I'll probably add some nuts. And on Tuesday, I'll have some salad with some crispy pork belly on top. This carrot I'm just gonna peel real quick, and then I'll slice some really fine ribbons to go in my ramen, just for color, and the rest I will slice up to put in the stock. And I'll just use a julienne slicer for that. Let's see how this works. Yes, that will work nicely. I'm just gonna trim a little bit off because it's just a little bit too long for this. Yeah. That is a lot better. That's probably enough. And this I'll just rough chop for the sauce, stock. And then we'll also work onto some celery. Some of this will go in the stock, some will go in the tomato soup, and some I'll use with the risotto. Spring onion, mostly for garnish. And then some garlic. I'll leave some of them whole because those are just going to go in the stock, so there's no point in chopping them. And the others I'll just give a nice little fine chop. So yeah, the whole cloves are going in the stock in the soup, and the chopped garlic is going in the risotto. And maybe at the end of the week I'll do like a broccoli rice or cauliflower rice stir fry to use up whatever I have left. So and that's plenty fine for what I need it for. And I'll do some white onion for the stock, just because I want to keep it nice and light. And again, because it's going in the stock, it doesn't need to be super fine. Some red onion for the soup. And this red onion is for the risotto, so we'll dice that a little bit finer. Let's see. We have some snow peas. I'll just take the ends off and see if there's any stringy bits, which there don't seem to be, or only very minimal. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that because these don't have the string. Sometimes they have really bad string bits, but not this. And those will go in my ramen. And chilies, I'll throw some in the tomato soup to make it a little bit spicy. And what else am I using it for? I might throw in some in the ramen. Maybe in the risotto too. Oh, and I'm having pizza tonight. So I'll throw some on the pizza as well. Almost forgot. It's pretty much the same for the peppers. I'll use that on my pizza tonight. And I will also use this for my salad. My salads are usually pretty simple. Just some spring mix with peppers, a little bit of onion, and some cucumber. And I'll throw some in my tomato soup as well. The tomatoes I'm just gonna raw chop because they're going in the soup. They're gonna get cooked down, so I just want to increase the surface area a bit so they go down quicker. And I'll use my immersion blender at the end, so I'm not too worried about any kind of chunks. I'll just use some cheese. Those will go in the low-carb wraps. And maybe I'll have some on my salad too, I don't know yet. On Meatless Mondays, if I'm going vegetarian, I usually try to just go all vegan, because I'm mostly there anyway, but since I'm not having a lot of protein tomorrow, I might add a bit of cheese. Just keep it vegetarian. I think that's actually plenty. Like that. And then we get our pork belly. I'm just going to score that. You could do it crisscross too, it looks better if you do it diagonal, but I find that it's just easier to slice after it goes in the air fryer if it's perpendicular. Okay. Let's start with some oil. And let's see. We'll get more mushrooms. Our white onion. Some of our garlic. And we'll add some salt. That just helps it sweat down. Some of our celery. And carrot. And this we're gonna let sweat for a little bit, then add the pork belly and some water, and just let that pressure cook for about an hour. And for the tomato soup, we're going to start the same. A little bit of oil. Using our red onions. Also some whole cloves of garlic. Some celery. Some chilies. And we'll do some red peppers. We'll get this first, and then once that cooks down a bit, I'll add the tomatoes. Because there's just so much water in the tomatoes, and we'll make it last a lot longer before it cooks down. And some black pepper. So let's get this on the stove. Okay, the cauliflower is finished steaming, and just put it in a clean towel. I let it cool a little bit so it's easier to handle. And now we just squeeze all the water out. You can see that's starting to form into a little dough. Push everything down a bit. And you'll be surprised how much liquid comes out. But yeah, that should be enough. We'll add in some cheese and an egg. Get this all mixed up. And if there are any bits that are still not completely soft, like a little bit of stem, just smush it down. Looks about right. And these just go into a hot oven for about 10 minutes. And here we have the end result. We have some nice low-carb tortillas. We have our tomato soup. That's all blended up with the immersion blender. We have our pork belly. That's all done. And, when I want to use it, I'm just going to slice parts of it off and put that in the air fryer to make it nice and crispy, and then slice it into smaller slices to top my tacos or my ramen, whatever I'm using that for. And after straining, that's my stock. So it's a little bit of pork juice, pork drippings, and some vegetables, and yeah, that's it. Completely done. I'm going to clean up a bit now, and I will see you all next week. If you want to see more of the dishes I make with the ingredients I chopped earlier, follow me on Instagram because I post all my meals there. And see you next time.